Hello, my dear Aries. Welcome back or welcome to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for the month of August 2019. I'm doing this reading at the time of the new moon in Leo on 31st of August. I find it significant. It feels like it's a new moon in a fire sign, a fellow fire sign, Aries, and I think it's going to be a very lucrative new moon for you. You may really feel through it. It has to do a lot with your inner child and working with the ego. So yeah, let's see what's coming through for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for the month of August 2019. This is a general reading. If it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Do not try to fit it in. Make of it whatever, like use your own intuition to know what messages really apply to you, and let go of the rest. Do not give your power away. You know best. You're the expert in yourself, Aries, okay? Don't take my word on anybody's word over your inner wisdom. But your inner wisdom doesn't necessarily come from your mind or your emotions and feelings. So yeah, just tune in, use your intuition. That's where you need to go. Okay, Aries. So there you go. Ace of Cups is your current energy. Ooh la la, that's beautiful. This whole new moon thing, right? As your challenge, you have death. Okay. It's a bit challenging to let go, probably. I've done a few readings for Aries, and actually for some personal readings for fellow for Aries people, and this card of death kept showing up in transformation, and seems to be that you have troubles allowing that transformation to happen. Okay, this is your advice, the Three of Wands, and let's see what is future energy is coming in, given all these aspects here. Okay, so it's the Six of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, your underlying theme is the Star. Beautiful. The underlying theme, this is kind of like what you're working with right now, and it's a healing time. All right, let's see. Let's clarify these cards. Why is the Ace of Cups here as your current energy? Ten of Wands. Oh, look at that. Not the Wands, Cups. Sorry. So Ace of Cups with Ten of Cups. That's a complete circle here. It's a complete circle. Wow. I keep relating with the new moon, this new moon right now, and it's the beginning of a new cycle. Alright, so let's see, why is death here as your challenge? Why is it difficult for you this month of August? Why is death here? Queen of Pentacles. This came out in your last reading as your challenge still in July. I don't remember what it came with, but I remember that it was in the same position of as something that's challenging for you right now. Okay, it makes sense. Why is the Three of Wands as your advice? Why is the Three of Wands as your advice? Something did turn. The Moon. Alright. Huh. Alright, so why is the Six of Pentacles as your outcome here, as your future energy? What's this energy that's coming in? The Six of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Huh. Now that's an interesting reading, Aries. Alright, so we have the Three of Cups. Sorry. The Three of Cups going along with the Star as your theme. Let's start. Let's get straight into it. So, my dear Aries, I think that what you're healing right now is your relationships, your friendships, your connections, your having to do with how you feel connected into the world, the people that you used to love and celebrate with, and things like that. You may have had some fallen out, you may have had some situations in which there were some wounds coming out and triggers, and that's perfectly normal. I mean, like, the closer the people get, the deeper they show, like the deeper they dig, and the more they let other people see, and the more difficult it becomes, because it's going straight to the wounds. That's why it's so hard to deal with family sometimes. That's why it's so hard to actually, yeah, even with closer friends, once like you've been friends forever, there can be much more triggers coming out, and that's usually good. Like, if you take a look back and look at the big picture, you understand that part of the healing is understanding our triggers, understanding why we feel the way we feel, understanding our relationships, understanding that also our relationships tend to be, most of the time, all the time, from a certain perspective, they're just mirrors of ourselves. I mean, if, for example, I have certain um, insecurities, then those insecurities will be mirrored and reflected back at me, by complete strangers or by our closest friends, from whom we sometimes expect the most support and everything. But what we see back, is what we put out there, really. And that can be very painful. And that's usually important for us to understand, that we are mirroring a lot, and we all do that. It's not that just you, Aries, are doing this. Everybody is. This is a part of the way we connect. Not to mention, not to say that there is no authentic, real connection. There is. It's just always going to happen through this mirror. So we need to keep that in mind most of the time, before we judge, before we um, sometimes we need to enact outside of ourselves inner dynamics, and some of our closest and loving souls are going to take up roles to play out that drama that's happening within. And that's usually healthy. That's when the wounds start healing. So you're healing some wounds having to do with your friendships and relationships and close family or friends. All right, but you have the Ace of Cups with the Ten of Cups as your current energy. So beautiful. Ace of Cups is all about, like, it's when you open your heart, when you finally like feel that place of unconditional love, and see, you may have actually, you understand that this support and this friendship and this circle goes much deeper than the wounds, that like the wounds are being shown in order to be healed, and that's almost like a service. It's like, okay, thank you for showing that to me. Now I can have access to it and feel it and feel through and heal it. That's the support. The real support is like when this can happen without judgment. And the Ace of Cups is when the healing had been done. Like, look at this. Look at how she, from the star, she's like pouring water from these cups, and see, like, from the water bear, right? It's Aquarius energy. And the Ace of Cups is like the same water being like poured from the inside out. It's your heart opening up, and it's understanding. But this is like Ten of Cups having to do with absolute happiness. You maybe feel really high right now. You may be on a really high wave of like joy and happiness because you understood something deep having to do with your inner world and reflection of the inner world on the outside. It's a lot of cups here, by the way. Quite interesting. I think you're also feeling through the whole idea of happiness, the physicality of it. What does it mean? How does it feel? You're feeling through, you understand the new ways of joy that come from your having your heart open and being able to connect from a different place, from a place of like a deeper love. Ace of Cups can have to do a lot with a rebirth and with unconditional love. But what's challenging for you right now is to, it's just like last time, with the Queen of Pentacles, like being nurturing, being understanding the value in this whole super nurturing position, and nurture your own death, if that makes sense to you. Like, nurse yourself here, be at your, I know this sounds a little bit weird, but I'm just gonna go with it. I think it's gonna make sense to some of you because it comes in quite strong. So it feels like, you like somebody who's just sitting at the bedside of a dying person. The person who's dying is afraid and he goes through like his whole life and he wants to share about what meant this, what this meant, how, like, I don't know if you've ever been through the experience to be by somebody else's bed while they were like moving towards death, or might have seen it in movies or heard about it from other people's accounts, and sharing. So in a way, I feel like there's this part of you that you need to let go of. There's this part of you that needs to die, that needs to transform. Death is always a transformation. And this is also Scorpio energy, so it's very watery, very, very watery this time, very much dealing with emotions. And being in this happy place, it's really hard to let it go. And you don't need to let go of it, but you don't need to get attached to it either. It's always within you. You have access to it. Once the heart is open and you understand that happiness from your heart being open, you understand that, first of all, that you can't stay there the whole time. You will understand deeply that, things like this need to happen. But we also can get attached, like, oh my god, it feels so good, I just want to be here all the time, like I don't want to go back to the way things were before. It felt so lonely and so empty. And yet we still need to go through experiences, we still need to go through pain, we still need to go, because we need to come back here all the time. This is like this whole complete circle, having that full happiness and opening up a new level of vulnerability and joy and connection, finding your way home to your center. But for this, you need to allow this death to happen. You need to go through it. You need to go through the transformation. And most of the time, sometimes when we go through this death part, we tend to be like really, oh yeah, I really want to let go of this. Finally, I'm letting go of this. Like, very warlike. And you, Aries, like, you are the warrior of the whole zodiac. Like, if there's one warrior, that's you. And Aries is your ruler, But you can't go and have a fight with the death right now. Kind of like need to nurse yourself, nurse that part of you that needs to like slowly transform and let go and move on from automatic behavior to consciousness and the awareness that comes from opening your heart. You need to be nursing that part of you to let go. You need to be really, really, really careful how you handle this. Otherwise, you're just going to get more and more resistance. When somebody, a part of you, is going through this transformation, you can literally feel like a part of you is dying. And just sit there and talk to it and reassure it that it served its purpose, and it's okay. It's not like, nothing dissipates, everything transforms. It's a rebirth. Okay, be nurturing of it. And then, okay, you have as your advice, you have the Three of Wands with the moon. So I think that you know, the Queen of Pentacles is feminine energy. She's very, very nurturing. She's very mothery and very much connected with the earth, with the intuition, with the physical reality. The moon has to do with your subconscious and unconscious mind and your emotions. And by tuning in, and by the way, it's still a new moon reading, so you have the moon here, tuning in with well, it's the reading for the month of August, but it happens at this new moon. So it is important right now to allow this death to happen, to be able to stay in this energy of the Queen of Pentacles, to really look into your intuition. And you've done the work that needed to be done here. The Three of Wands is somebody who's like looking out there. I've sent in the call. I've sent the emails. I've put in the, I send word out. The decision has been made, and the actions had been, it's been happening. And now this person sort of like looking for the manifestation of his work and his actions. And he does it from a position of power, like he's holding his wand here. He's like, he knows what he wants. He knows what actions need to be taken. He's doing what he needs to be doing, not overdoing it. And he also knows that there's a period of wait. And in this time, I think you're very much encouraged to really, really look at what's your worst case scenario in your mind. What is it that you're afraid of? It is said sometimes that what you're afraid of, you're not going to escape. I don't want to say that because it's scary, but it is important to understand that your fears aren't as you know what, it's really, really hard, and I know this. I know it deeply. It's hard. It's very easy to say like your fears aren't as big and as scary as you think they are. But I don't think that this card would show up for you as an advice if you weren't already in the place where you had the courage and you had the space to look into the fear, to look at what your worst case scenario and understand where is that coming from, what were the fears, are these like real threats or perceived threats. Remember, it's not full, it's the Leo season. We're working a lot with the inner child, and we're working a lot with like fears that had been we had been conditioned to feel most of the time. There's also like the point with the moon is to learn to trust your intuition, to learn to use your fear as your ally and work. And trust me, like I've worked with the fear for most of my life. It's been like one of my biggest challenges. I can't say I'm a master on how to work with the fear all the time, but I had my share, and I've gained so much from simply addressing it and and talking directly and feeling through my fear and things like that. There's also times where I simply can't, and I need to accept that too. And it's okay, but now I feel like you can. You are in that space where you can look straight into your fear and have that conversation and understand the underlayers, because you can connect to your intuition right now, to your intention, to your decision making process, and to your direction, and feel through it, like make use of this whole I think you have a new access to your intuition that maybe you didn't have before, or it was always there, just you couldn't really see it. You were in that space, you were busy preparing yourself to get to this point, making the decision, taking the actions. Is now it's like everything kind of happens at a time. We can't handle everything at the same time. It's like, okay, now I deal with this, then now I have create space to be able to um, connect and tune in a certain energy. So yeah, your advice is tune in, feel through your fears, and see like how does this affect your actions, your decision making process, and what's coming ahead. You're in that space of waiting, like you've done most of the work. Now you can just like really tune in with yourself. All right, so we have the Six of Pentacles with Five Pentacles as your future energy. And this is fascinating. Like you see, this person is being very generous and is giving to the people here that are really poor. And these people are incredibly poor here. They're like, barefooted and like crippled and things like this, and they're like left out in the cold, and they're poor in more ways than just financial. But this Five of Pentacles also shows that there's help available, but they're not able to see it because they are too trapped in that whole feeling of isolation and pain and lack. I don't have. They're passing by a church here. They could like take refuge in here from the cold, and that's probably where this person is. Not necessarily, but there is help available. You may be the one giving the help, but don't get stuck in that energy, just like you being the one that's giving or feeling like, okay, am I giving too much or whatever. Yeah, it is important to understand that this position can and may be reversed at any time, being who's the giver and who's the taker, and it's okay. We need to learn how to make that exchange. We need to learn to balance out how much we give and how much we take, and to balance out, like whenever we're feeling like this energy of scarcity, um it is okay to receive. It is okay to seek out for help. And whenever I'm in the energy of the giver, it is okay to give without expecting something in return. I'm give because I have. This person's not expecting something in return from these people. He's giving because he has, but he's not giving more than he can spare. So I think it's a lot of like balance right now, and maybe have to do also with all this healing of energies. Maybe you've been feeling like isolated and feeling like really yeah, maybe feeling really isolated from your soul family, from your group, you didn't have a balanced give and take in your relationships lately. This is kind of what you're healing right now, and there you go. It shows up as your future energy, that you're learning how to balance this. You're coming out. The sixes are also a lot about service. They're about generosity, they're about kindness, they're about service, they're about growing out of the self a little bit and connecting from a different place. Fives are necessary. Fives are necessary to grow out of this the stability that we create in the four. If we're stuck in the four, then there's no more growth. Five, yeah, it feels unstable, but it does lead to this six, where you've been there, you've been out into the cold, you've been in that place of like isolation and loneliness and scarcity. And because you've been there, now you can relate, and you have the kindness and generosity to share when you have a good thought, uh, your time. It doesn't necessarily mean money. It means you can share your life experience, your journey, your time that you're giving to other people. But you can do that because you've been here and you can actually relate. I'm going to pull out a card for this because I feel like there's a different message about this. Okay, why the Six of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles is current energy here? As your future energy here. As your outcome. Why is the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles here is your... There you go, is the Emperor. And that's your energy, Aries. To come back into your own power, you need to balance this up. You need to not be neither the isolated, but neither only the giver. You know, balancing out this whole perception you have of yourself. Really, the Emperor is like the ultimate. Is like the authority figure. It's somebody who's like knowing exactly how much to give, to not like leave the empire broke. You know, he knows balance. The Emperor knows balance. And that's within your own power. This is your card, Aries. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually great. You're really working with this, with healing out your relationship and the way you show up. And you're stepping back into your own authority here and within your own power. And that's fantastic. So this isolation that you may have felt, it happened for a reason. It happens so you can actually understand how to heal this and how to relate from a much deeper place. This place of unconditional love and kindness and generosity, because you've been there. All right, Aries, I hope that makes sense to you. And if you resonate, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm really trying to grow the channel. As you can tell, it's quite new, so I would really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. All right, guys, so have a great August, and I'll see you here soon.